you see their offense, this is a pretty big game matchup. You guys have to think about. You look at their offense, what are they presenting, and how is it a challenge for your unit?
I think the thing that's going to be different than what we've seen is tempo. They're a tempo team. They get up quick, especially, depending on how many yards they gain. They'll go back with another play and just finding out that rhythm and then also seeing the formations quicker. Because the thing about tempo, again, is that you can't hide a lot when you're in tempo. So, you have to be very good at looking at film and understanding the formations and location of the ball and what you're going to get next based off the previous play. So I think that's the real thing because we haven't seen a lot of tempo this year, which there was a couple of teams earlier that we thought we would, but they didn't. So this is going to be, a really good challenge for us to actually go against a team who really plays tempo a majority of the time.
How big is communication in that? I mean, now you're 8 games into having, mics in the helmets. Is that just a huge part of that when you play against tempo?
Well, great question. The thing about tempo is you want to have the least amount of communication. You don't want to over talk because they're getting ready to snap the ball. So again, everything has to be predetermined off of that film study. What is the rhythm of the offense? What is the cadence? And what do they run next after they gain so many yards when they're going tempo? So everybody in the film room, that's where your communication happens. And then when you go through walkthroughs and on the field, it needs to be an understanding. There has to be that chemistry. The less talk, the better you'll play defense. If you're over talking, the ball is snapped, that's where they get you. That's what tempo's about, wanting you to make a mistake. And then they capitalize on that.
So this is a great week to kind of like use it as a litmus test to see where everybody is, kind of like film study wise. I mean, if you're out of position, you'll know it pretty quick as a coach.
Well, you know it pretty quick, I think, regardless, because that's what we do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But again, I think the biggest thing is you're right, though, because when it does go fast, if they're not lined right, if we're not in the right spots, it will be exposed quickly.
Yeah. You guys have seen a lot of good running backs this year.
Yeah.
Where does Tahj go? How does he compare?
Tahj is a really good back, man. You watch the film on him, you see how patient he is. We compare him a lot to Le'Veon Bell from the league, how he presses the hole, and then he has some very similar footwork to 31 from Kansas State. I think he's a bigger back. So there's that part of it that you have to make sure you get there, gain tackle, wrap up, and try to get knocked back at the line of scrimmage. So we think how 28 goes is how their offense goes, and it runs through them, as you've seen in games. So, yeah, it's a great challenge. The guys are looking forward to it just because, I think these backs are getting us ready for being bowl eligible, and you got to play good defense against the run.
Does that kind of play into it as well, the success that they have passing ball? Just they know teams are hesitant to or like to load up the box because of how good Tahj is. Does that kind of help play into their passing game from what you've seen so far?
Well, they're a big RPO team, so it's mixed in based on when they count the box. So however many you have in the box, that triggers whether they're going to throw it or run it. Now, there are some formations they get into where they really want 28 to carry the ball, and so they'll load it up in the box to make sure they get him the ball and let him do what he does naturally, which is find the holes. But, yes, I mean, I think that's the big scheme with their offense. They know they have a good back, so they put a lot of RPOs because if you load the box, then they can go to the secondary play that's right off the first play.
Just going back to the communication, Coach. I mean, how much has Nakai improved in that regard throughout the season, and just how much of an asset is he at this point in kind of being that guy for you guys?
I think they all have. They all have communicated vastly in communication from the front line to the back line, and I think that's why we're seeing improvement in how we're playing the run and improving on total defense with the turnovers, with the 3 and outs, and being effective to get it back to our explosive offense.
Does it make a big difference in a week where, as you say, the prep and film study is so important? Does it make a big difference coming off of a bye?
I think film study is important any week. To me as a coach, I mean that's what we do. I don't even know what the word bye really means, because we're always watching film. We love the game. Our kids love the game. We're talking over the bye. We're making sure that everybody's crystal clear on everything they're doing. So I don't think it changes for us per se. I think the only thing changes is the fans are a little bit grumpy because they don't get to see us play ball. But besides that, we're always practicing and trying to get better.
Does the extra time help a lot with that extra prep a little bit?
When you think about it, if you're preparing for one team, having 2 weeks to look at a team instead of one, yeah, it does. Because you got a lot more film you can look through. It's a lot more talking as far as the coaches are concerned, and we're really getting a dive into something, for 2 weeks or 10 days, how you want to see it, instead of just 5 days. So yeah, in that aspect, yes.
We had a chance to talk to Robert Livingston last week. He likes to kind of deflect praise. What's it been like for you working with him?
Tribe mentality. That's his big philosophy, and I love it because that means no job is too big, no job is too small. It takes us all together to win. And so, when you spread that around and you give people skin in the game, you get confident in what you do, and there's a big part of it that depends on your success. So when you have success, it's just that extra excitement you have. It's that extra it's the extra hands in the air because you had a big part to do with it, whether big or small. So that tribe mentality, man, I think it helps grow as coaches. It helps elevate us and give us confidence to do things that we love to do.
Football questions for Coach.
Question is about again, it's not in your room.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot. I know well off Tyler Brown's playing with defensive tackle.
Yeah.
What are you seeing out of him? And I don't know if you're able to answer this, but is that a full time move or what are you seeing out of him in defensive tackle?
Well, I tell you what, the guy is strong. He is strong. He's one of the strongest guys we've had. So to have him in there plugging gaps and can't be moved, we love that as linebackers. That helps us out a lot. So, he always goes about his work in a professional way. And I think it gets back into that tribe mentality that I talked about with the coaches. It's with the players, too. No job is too big or too small, And how he's doing in practice, I love to keep him over there. I don't know if we can or not, but I'd sure fight for it.
I think the last time we talked to you was after the Nebraska game, and you had told us that, hey, this week in practice as coaches, we're ramping up intensity. And you see what's happened since then for this program. What have you noticed as maybe the major shift since we last spoke to you?
I think it's just the confidence in the players. The best thing for a coach, what you like to see, is when you're coaching up a player and he actually takes the technique and he takes the coaching and he applies it in practice and it wins. Then he goes to the game and he wins. And he's excited. Now you have his full attention. Now everybody is like, what next, coach? Teach me something else. I want to get better. I want to do that. So you're seeing that now. The guys are buying into it. They see what we do works. The culture works and it wins, and what Coach Prime is evidently building here at Colorado. And they all want to be a part of it. So I think that's the thing. Just the enthusiasm to learn more because they see it's paying off.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, thanks.